Let's talk about the economy and jobs, employment, and unemployment. The latest CMI data that came out a few days ago actually grabbed the headlines for the rise in the unemployment rate for the month of August. So the overall unemployment rate has gone up to 8.32% in the month of August versus 6.96% in the month of July. The bigger rise here has actually been in the urban unemployment rate that's now well above 9.5% at 9.78%. Rural also saw a jump to 7.64%. Amongst the states in July, Haryana had recorded the highest unemployment rate and Rajasthan the second highest. But the unemployment rate that has gone up in this month cannot just be seen in isolation. It can be very misleading to simply just say, oh, India saw 15 lakh people lose job in the month of August, or the unemployment rate is staggeringly high at 9.5% in August. What is going on? The GDP numbers seem to suggest a completely different picture than what's gone wrong. And this is what I want to talk about. It's understanding the data. What are the concerns? Is there a silver lining that we can actually talk about? For example, one must also keep in mind that the labor participation rate has actually also increased. That means more number of people were actually out there in the market looking for a job, and a larger number of them did get a job as well. So even though your unemployment number does show an increase, a larger number of people did come to the jobs market as well. That's not to say even for 1 minute there are worries about employment or jobs has gone away. It's still there. It's very much there. Just trying to put things in perspective on a month-on-month basis. But if I'm not doing a good job, I know who can and who will. And so let's say good evening to Mahesh Vyas, MD and CEO for CMI, who's joining me right now. It's his data. He studies it very closely, comes up with this statistic report month on month. So let's ask Mahesh, how do we read this rise in unemployment?
The numbers for August are perplexing in many ways, and therefore the preamble you gave was bang on. I mean, you did say that there are many perplexing things in this. So let me explain it. It's like peeling an onion. So the headline numbers tell us that the unemployment rate has gone up, and has gone up quite substantially from around 7% to over 8%. That's a lot. I mean, when you have more than 1% increase in unemployment rate in 1 month, that means a lot of people are out there looking for jobs and not finding one. So that's a little troublesome. But one did see that the labor force participation rate went up. That means more people were looking for work in August compared to July. Now, why is that a big deal? Because in India, over the last several years, we have seen that the unemployment rate is so high and jobs are so few that people come to the labor markets looking for jobs, get disappointed when they don't find jobs, and they just go back. If they go back, in the sense that they stop looking for jobs, they are not called unemployed. You're called an unemployed person only if you are looking for a job and don't find one. But what if you just give up looking for a job? It doesn't show up in the unemployment rate. It will show itself in a fall in the labor participation rate, that so many people just went back kind of disappointed. So it's a good thing that in the month of August, the labor force participation rate went up. And when that goes up even a little, it means a lot because it is a proportion of the population as a whole. So I think the first good thing to note is that the labor force participation rate went up. Many of those people did find jobs who came to the labor markets, but many did not. And therefore, the unemployment rate went up. It went up in rural and urban areas, but I think it's a good sign that the labor force participation rate is increasing. We did see a very small change in the employment rate. So that's not the big story. The big story is the unemployment rate has gone up and the labor force participation rate has also gone up. Beyond this, one sees a fall in employment. Aggregate total employment actually came down. The correct number is actually not 15 lakh, but 19 lakh. So 1.9 million jobs were lost in the month of August, and you are not entirely wrong in saying 15 lakh, because the first release said 15 lakh, and then quickly we had revised the numbers because the end of the wave calls for a complete revision, and the revised number is therefore 19 lakh. So it's a little stressful that 19 lakh jobs are lost in a month. It is also a little more stressful that those jobs are a trend of falling employment. But let me make it a little more complex and I'll pass it back to you. There are a large number of the jobs lost in the month of August were in agriculture. So that's because of seasonality.
Right.
So when the rains halt a little bit and sowing comes to a halt, before harvest begins again, agriculture sheds labor. And a lot of people left the agricultural jobs in search for other jobs. So there's a lot that happened in August.
Okay, so let's try and also approach it from another way. And I want to now specifically just focus on the urban employment, Mahesh. Would it be fair to say that there are larger number of more people looking for a job in urban areas, but there are also, a larger number of jobs available, yet the mismatch remains too much and, a big concern?
Well, there is a big concern. There is a concern that in urban India, the unemployment rate is touching 10%. It's around 9.8%. That's very high. So it's also a problem on the quality of jobs we are talking about. Systematically, salary jobs are being lost, good quality jobs are being lost, and what we are left with is with poor quality jobs. So I think it's a matter of concern that the unemployment rate in urban India is quite high at 9.8%. There is no security of any kind for people to lose their jobs in urban India. With 6% inflation and nearly 10% unemployment rates, so urbanites are facing a misery index of the order of around 16% or so. That's quite bad.
So for a layman, the immediate response is, well, how do you explain it? Because we just saw the GDP numbers come up, and the numbers showed it was a big jump from what we were a year ago when the economy was contracting at 24% to now expanding at these levels. The government says that, the recovery is very much there, green shoots are visible. And if that is the case, then why is the same picture not visible when it comes to creation of jobs or better job opportunities?
So let's put the GDP numbers in perspective. You said we fell 24% last year and we have gone up 20% this year. Even a school kid will tell us that if you fall 24% and rise 20%, you're still far short of where you were before you fell. And that's exactly what has happened. So the GDP in the quarter of June 21 is 3.2% smaller than what it was 3 years ago. So the 20% increase in the quarter of June doesn't mean anything because it has not even recovered what we lost last year. So we are way behind the curve. We are 3.2% lower than where we were years ago. Now, the GDP numbers therefore paint a much worse number than the employment numbers because the employment numbers are telling you that we are not that bad. We were at around 410 million jobs. We are now at about 399 million jobs. We haven't lost as much over there. So the problem is not in jobs. The problem is in wages. And that's where people are losing out a big time. So let's get this corrected. GDP growth, yes, there is a recovery from where we were, but the recovery is incomplete and there is stress on jobs. More than the stress on jobs, there is stress on wages. Even people who are getting jobs are not getting the kind of wages they used to get a year ago, 2 years ago, even 3 years ago.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And actually, that was one of the issues that I wanted to discuss with you. The aspect where you see a lot of companies doing well, profitability coming in, GDP numbers much better, obviously not at the same levels than last year. Stock markets are doing great. But at the end of the day, my wages aren't going anywhere, neither are my job opportunities. Now, will this at some point become a big challenge for the country? It may not seem so right now. But what, if we are headed this way where companies just find other ways to increase their profitability at the cost of, well, people.
Well, this is what we call as the K-shaped recovery.
Correct.
The rich became richer and the poor became poorer. That's exactly what happened. Companies did very well. They were maximizing their profits and they found opportunities to do that well as their costs reduced. And mind you, the cost did not reduce because of labor. So to be fair to them, their profits increased largely in the quarters of September 20, December 20, to some extent even March 21, because raw material costs and cost of production in general went down very substantially. It went down at a sharper rate than sales went down. So sales went down, cost of production went down even more steeply, therefore the profitability went up. The total profits they made was stupendous. Sure, the labor cost did not grow much, but did not fall. So at the same time, we do see stress in labor and in wages, and that is because the MSME sector, the smaller companies, have not been able to survive this problem. So the loss to labor is mostly in the unorganized sector and informal jobs and small sectors, in smaller sectors compared to the very large companies. The companies that are making stupendous profits or have made stupendous profits are mostly the very large companies. And therefore, the K is really very sharply inclined upwards.
Yes, U-shaped recovery, V-shaped recovery, and the K-shaped recovery. While the debate actually goes on was in terms of what shape it is, it's actually the people at the end of the day who matter and their economic, scenario. My last question to you, Mahesh Vyas, any signs of optimism, green shoots that you're seeing in specific sectors, since you also look at different sectors and how they seem to be turning around?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't see many green shoots. So this is not the best of times to talk of green shoots. We are actually seeing that the recovery that we saw, mind you, the GDP numbers are till June, but we have seen July and August. And August has seen the recovery of July being taken back. So July and August, which means this quarter, the second quarter of this financial year, is not looking very good. Companies may still continue to make profits. But insofar as people is concerned, insofar as wages is concerned, insofar as jobs are concerned, we are still in a very stressed out situation. The consumer sentiments are very bad, both according to the RBI surveys and according to the CMI survey. Jobs are poor quality, jobs are not good, wages are pretty bad, and sentiments are low. So let's be honest. Let's not fool ourselves to say that there are green shoots of investments are happening. I don't see much of that, really speaking. I don't see it to an extent that it will make a difference.
Okay, not to the extent that it will make a difference. Well said. Thank you so much. Completely out of time, but I do appreciate you joining us, like always.